Welcome to my channel, The King Lee Way. My name is King, and today I am at Ayala Mall Central Block, located in IT Park in Cebu City, Philippines. And I have a title, Dear America, Filipinos are coming. But before I elaborate more on that topic, I'm going to show you what foods I got. So of course, if you ever come to the Philippines, it is so anonymous with white rice. Since they didn't have soup, so they gave me 2 scoops of rice. I do not know if I'm going to eat all of this. I might eat maybe one of these things because I've been trying to cut down on the white rice. I've been eating more brown rice because sometimes it's just not good to eat too much of this. And on top of this, I have shrimp and I have lechon. And of course, I do love lechon, but it's not something you eat every day here in the Philippines because it's really unhealthy after a while. So sometimes I have to mix it up. So before I get into the subject, I'm gonna take a bite of some of the lechon right here. So here we go. So I already dipped it into the sauce. Not too bad. All right. Sometimes I can eat this in my hand, but since I'm in a mall, I'm gonna be kind of proper. I put some sauce on it to give rice the flavor. All right. And I got my iced tea. Now for the price for this was about 280 pesos. It's close to $6 US. It's a little more expensive than I want to pay because I usually don't pay that much for Filipino food, except in the United States. But the title, Dear America, Filipinos are coming. Well, Filipinos have been coming to America. And I remember, because my own mother was a nurse, I've met a lot of her co-workers were Filipinas coming from the Philippines. And this has been happening for a long time, since the 1990s till now with the nurses. But here's another thing going on. Because in America, we have an extreme teacher shortage. It is an extreme shortage around all 50 states, not just in the United States, in Canada, UK. It's an extreme shortage. And districts, especially either in the rural districts or in the inner city, the districts are having problems trying to fill those teaching positions in the US. Me, one of them, I don't want to teach in the United States. I'd rather teach online or teach ESL in Asia. It's just more easy and, you know, more sustainable for myself. But what I've seen is I'm seeing more Filipinos getting hired. And the visa that they are coming on is on a J1 visa, which is good for 3 years. Some say it's 5, but you know, you never know what our United States government, what they're gonna do today or tomorrow. So at least I know it's minimum 3 years. So that's what some of these school districts are doing. They're hiring Filipino teachers. Now, I'm gonna break down why a Filipino would come to the United States, but let me bite into some more of this grub here. So I got some shrimp, so I'm gonna try that. I'll just eat it straight up. I like shrimp. Yep, of course, more rice for me. Might not eat most of this. And when the lady said 2 scoops of rice, I didn't think they'd be big as a softball. She wasn't kidding. I wanted the soup instead. Now, going back to the subject, the teacher shortage. Of course, you know, for what the salary will be paid in the United States, of course a Filipino teacher wants to come over, but it's really not easy to come over. And here's the thing, they'll come, as I said about the J1 visa, it's 3 years. So the question from, you know, the United States is, oh, is that just a band-aid, you know, to get our kids service? And the thing is, I always hear a lot of positives of when the Filipino teachers come to America. I mean, a lot of them are doing a pretty good job, I think. So myself, I do not have a problem with that issue, with them coming over. But I could see, you know, school districts, teachers' unions might have an issue with it, you know, because they pay the union dues, you know. And of course, you know, I'm a product of the LA Unified School District, so I'm from Los Angeles. And I do know there's some Filipino teachers working in LA Unified School District, because there's so many teaching positions. There's even so many substitute positions. You come and substitute, you know. That would probably be the only thing I would do in America once in a while. But yeah, but slowly since 2011, a few Filipino teachers coming. I even remember back in 2003, I actually met 3 Filipino teachers teaching in the United States, and this was back in 03. And of course I was like wondering, why are they here? Are we that short? Because at the time of 2003, we had the ruling about no child left behind policy during the George W. Bush era. So, and then I found out, because since I, you know, was in Central California, there is a city called Delano, California. So I wasn't surprised now, because Delano is known as a Filipino community in Central California. And Filipinos have a big history in Delano, California. They were even part of the farm movement back in the Cesar Chavez days, when the farm workers and the United Workers are fighting for, you know, better conditions in the farms. So that's one thing that I remember. So there's actually, you know, archives about Filipinos involved and marching and fighting along with the Latinos there. So yeah, back then that was a little taste of, oh, okay, we have some Filipino teachers here. But yeah, but what I see is there's more and more coming. And now I need to break down, why would a Filipino take an opportunity? If they have the opportunity to come, let me break down an average salary for a public school Filipino here in the Philippines. Now, approximately there's about 900,000 to 1 million public school teachers here in the Philippines. The salary, it could range from 15, maybe 25,000 at the high end, which is about 300 to 500 US dollars. So, and what does the United States pay? The United States pay about 150,000 pesos. So imagine that Filipino teacher sending 50,000 pesos back home. That is actually life-changing. That is extremely life-changing, to send 1,000 US dollars home. You know, an average Filipino doesn't even make close to that. So that's why they will come to the United States. Now, if they work in the inner city, it could be about 200,000 pesos, which is close to 4,000 US dollars, maybe about 3,300 after you pay Uncle Sam. and they could still send 1,000 back home to their families, and then they still got 2,300 to live on, maybe 1,000 for rent if they're living in a roommates and everything. So yeah, so why wouldn't they come over and teach in the United States for 3 years? That 3 years they can build up a lot of capital, and then they could do something back home in the Philippines. So, and then I have something to say about what the current legislation was going to do for public school teachers here in the Philippines. So before I continue, I'm going to try to eat more food because I don't want my food to get too cold here. So here's some rice. Tons of rice. A lot of white rice. This reminds me of the Filipino households I went to back in the United States. So it's pretty good. I don't know if I can eat this much white rice. It's a lot. Actually, the shrimp is not bad. I like the shrimp. Not too bad. Now, as I was talking to a few public school teachers here, there was talk that President Duterte was going to raise the public school teachers rate to 40,000 pesos a month. But they finally got something passed, but the raise is not going to make it to 40,000. It might just make it to a starting teacher to 23,000, which I imagine a lot of the teachers are not happy with that raise. It's not really a raise because we have this thing called inflation. It is not sustainable for them. 23. So the starting salary could go up to 23,000. And the thing is, I'm in a metropolitan Cebu. I'm even noticing things are getting more expensive here. Even for the Western food I eat, it's not as expensive as, America. It's just really, getting up there in price. It reminds me of the States. So this gets really expensive no matter what. I could still afford to eat the Western food, but if somebody locally, that's a lot of money. Or some of the foods or buffets I eat, where I spend 1,000 pesos, that's 1/8 of a salary. So, yeah. But yeah, the president was going to try to pass a bill to put those public schools. That's why a lot of Filipinos were going after trying to get that license to be a teacher here. But apparently it's not happening yet. And then if you know anything about being in the Philippines, nothing moves really fast here. So that's another thing. So even for the locals, it's not moving fast. And especially, it's really tough. It's kind of insane, especially a teaching profession, which is a respectable profession, and they're barely getting anything. So that's another issue going on. All right, let me chew into some more lechon here. Yummy. I put sauce on the rice. Yeah, I don't want to have a heart attack with the rice. Okay, going back, as I said, dear America, Filipinos are coming. Well, the truth of the matter is they've been coming. But in the teaching profession, I can see more and more coming. So, and just a side note, I was just watching a YouTube video about an online teacher, you know, said something to the Filipino teachers about, you know, us, the native speakers and the non-native speakers. And it angered a lot of the Filipino teachers, you know, which that person said. And I knew what that person was trying to say. I know what she was trying to do with the comparison but of course it came out offensive to most Filipinos. And I try to tell this person gently, say, look, I understand what you're saying, but look, you might actually have a Filipino teacher in the next classroom next to you before you know it. Or, you know, you're going to encounter them in the United States. Because in the nursing field, yeah, I have not gone to a hospital where I've not seen a Filipina nurse. I've seen at least 2 or more all the time. It never fails. They're, especially in California, they're there. So I see it all the time. Yeah. And actually, they're pretty good nurses. I was actually happy with their service in the United States. So yeah. And I think that a lot of them really do a good job here. So yeah, I see things coming. And you know, I can see more and more coming on a J1 visa, because this teacher shortage, if a lot of the districts can't figure out to find teachers just within the United States, there's going to be more of them coming. It's like the farms. None of us Americans want to work in the farms, right? So that's why we have the Latin Americans coming in to work on our farms, because we need to eat. We need to go shop at the market at the produce and get the vegetables. Same thing, it's becoming with the teachers. Same thing with nursing. So that's one thing, you know, I've kind of knew, but I'm now kind of really noticing and seeing a lot more. So a lot of these things ain't gonna even surprise me anymore. I really don't get surprised as much. So yeah, so dear America, Filipinos been coming and they are coming to our classrooms. So hopefully the question is, do you have an issue with that? For your teacher unions, would you have an issue with that? You know, I'm not going to answer that question, but yeah, would that be a problem? Because it's going to happen if no one wants to become a teacher in America and no one wants to be in that profession. So yeah, so expect it. I'm already expecting it. I won't be surprised if I had a child and my teacher's a Filipino or Filipina. It won't surprise me anymore. So other than that, if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for future videos. So wherever you are in the world, have a great day. Goodbye.